was actually listening in.
Welcome to another episode of CripChat. I'm your host, Jonathan Shaw. With me is Yasmin Fahad. ABC and a new friend, David. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hello, Jonathan.
We
Thanks
are
for having
fine,
us on the
thank you.
podcast. So we'll just introduce ourselves. My name's Evie, and I'm a community engagement. I'm a community leader, I guess. So I do community work with a lot of organizations. I'm glad to be on the podcast. Uh, Everyone else want to introduce themselves?
Hi, my name is David, and everyone calls me David, or whatever you want to call me. I'm visually impaired, and I'm part of PDCN, I'm part of SSI, part of DDA, and part of many other just
So
life.
David, what does PDCN and SSI and DDA stand for?
PDCN, Physical Disabilities Network
Council of New South Wales?
Council of New South Wales, yeah.
Yeah, and what does the SSI stand for?
SSI is I forgot
I
what it
think
says.
Settlement Services International.
Settlement Services International
And
and
DDA?
DDA,
Diversity and
the
Disability
Diverse
Alliance.
Disability Alliance.
Oh, that's a lot of organizations they work for.
Yeah, well, I try my best. What we can do, and instead of being bored at home, and
Cool, good stuff.
keep myself out of trouble.
Good stuff, good stuff. And Yaz, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Yasmin. I'm a public speaker. I'm also a part of a number of groups with SSI, our Voice Project, and I'm also part of Universal Access Reference Group and the Disability Inclusion Action Plan. And I'm also currently part of the International Day of People with Disability Gala events, in which every year we host an event for people with a disability, how we can connect with the mainstream community.
Cool. Thanks for having us, Jonathan.
And yes, and I are also part of the Our Voice
Yeah, so
project.
all three of us are connected. We all do work for SSI, DDA, PDCN. So yeah, it's all good. Sorry, Jonathan.
I'm glad to see you with a bit of background about myself. I am a board member at Physical Disability Australia, and I run my charity Australian Disability, of which CripChat is an initiative of. Okay. tonight's topic is the importance of inclusion.
Inclusion, huh? Sounds like
So,
a good topic.
if we can you fit only can you tell me exactly what he said? Because
So what we're gonna be talking about basically is inclusion. So our topic tonight will be on inclusion. So
inclusion.
Jonathan was saying that he works for Physical Disability Australia,
So,
and he created CripChat, a podcast that runs every week that talks about a certain topic
okay,
that addresses a disability.
Mhm.
So today's topic we're going to be talking about inclusion.
inclusion.
So
Okay,
David, how important is inclusion for you?
inclusion.
Yes.
Well, people because when I don't want to be left out. Like I know a lot of people look at people with disability as a burden sometimes. I like to
Yep.
be included and
Yep.
treated not like one of the rest. And
Oh yeah.
a lot of people think you can't do something because you're blind or because you got a disability, but you can always do it better than what they think.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. And what
And
about you, Yasmin?
Well, inclusion is very important to me because I believe that people with a disability need to be more included with our mainstream community. And I also believe that the mainstream community needs to be educated on people with a disability and how we lead our daily lives. And I personally think that by promoting inclusion, will actually be helpful for people with a disability in order to have more access to a range of things.
Fair enough. Cool. Cool. And what's your intake, Jonathan?
what to be inclusion is about acceptance and tolerance. Only,
Yeah, acceptance
tolerance,
and tolerance. Yeah.
only
acceptance and tolerance.
Yeah.
to
I think it's very important.
inclusion is more than just the check box on policy. It's about enabling all people, disabled or able, the freedom to participate in society.
Yeah, participation is very important. Everyone should be involved in the community. In community activities, in
Yep.
community involvement. People that are both able and disabled should, yeah, we should be all included.
See, I believe, yeah, always for they should always make things accessible for people with all disabilities, so they can, so no one can be left out. And if they leave
Uh,
out people, then that's a disability on society.
exactly, exactly. So technically, we are not disabled unless people's attitude make us feel like we're disabled.
Mm.
They like to sort of keep us like be odd ones out. But
Yeah,
if they're gonna
yes, yes.
if they're gonna make us the odd ones out, it's a disability on them.
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it can be degrading in some way. It's it's people's view of disability. They make us feel like we're not part of the community. We're not accepted. Um,
Like
I
this,
guess.
COVID-19 thing. I
Oh
guess
yeah, yeah. COVID-19.
if they're gonna serve someone, they're gonna serve the able first to help them, because the disabled, the people with disability, are gonna keep them back.
Yes, yes.
If they were to choose someone to save, they'll choose the abled, because
Exactly, exactly,
the other one's dragging them back.
exactly, exactly. What do you think about that? Do you think that's fair?
I don't think that's fair. We're all humans.
Yeah. Do you agree, Jasmine?
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you, Jonathan?
I think there are two ways of viewing disability. There's the medical model and the social model.
That's
While
right.
the medical model focuses on the pathology of disability needing cure. The social model says that a disability is not purely the problem of the person. It's how our unique set of circumstances interface with society. And to me, it's that inclusion which will enable us to live the life we want to.
Exactly, exactly. So we're trying to shift from the medical approach, I guess, to the society, the social approach, or the social model of disability. But sadly, we're still halfway there. I think some people are still at the medical approach, the medical view of being disabled, and that we cannot look after ourselves. We still need we still need that person to take care of us, basically. To
Yeah,
we don't know anything about ourselves, basically.
it's funny. It's funny. Some people, I walk around. I'm actually blind, and I walk around and people say, How you by yourself? Don't you have a carer?
Exactly, that's the same with me. I have a physical disability and I require a wheelchair. And it's once you're on the powered wheelchair, you're seen as like someone who basically can't look after themselves. So we're still at that stage. We're still at that medical approach where
See
because
what
I'm sitting on a wheelchair, I need to be looked after.
I
And it
reckon.
does make me nervous when I go out into the community.
I think the best approach of having to do this is probably in primary school and in high school. At least teach the kids on different types of disabilities and the way they can take care of themselves and how they take care of themselves.
Exactly, exactly. It's all about educating. Yeah, it's very important to educate people, especially the young ones. They're often full of questions. They're always curious. So it's important to educate them, and it's important to educate the adults as well. And if the adults can educate their kids, their children,
Usually, if you educate the kids educate the adults.
yes, that's true. But it shouldn't have to be that way. But it is what it is. It's
But see,
education is key. It's always important to educate.
because usually when the kids come home and they tell their parents, they explain to their parents what they saw, and this is why, and this is why, and it's the best way of
Mm.
learning. Yeah, like I've got kids, and my son tries to teach me more than I'm trying to teach him.
That's good. No, that's good. It's good stuff. Yeah. So what about you, Yasmin?
Yeah.
How do
Um,
you feel when you're in your community?
well, how do I feel? Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
So I'm saying, how do you feel when you're in your community?
Well, I do feel like I am the odd one out a lot of times because I feel
Okay,
like
tell me.
I sometimes get stared at people, and not only that, but I get spoken to in a rude and condescending way. But I also try to make make my make. I try to also make the best of myself and not let it get to me by acting positive and being nice. And but when I'm out in the community, I'm very cautious and making sure that I'm okay and I'm safe when I'm around, in public spaces and everything.
Cool, cool. Good stuff. What do you think, Jonathan? Do you agree?
For me, what really annoys me is when I walk around in public. I have little kids pointing and staring at me, asking their parents what's wrong with my man. To me, I don't understand why disability awareness can't be included in school curriculum, so it's normalized at a young age.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's important to educate
Mm.
the community, the public about shifting attitudes, applying the social model rather than the medical model.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like when I walk, a lot of people in my area don't move.
Yep.
I walk into people, and people walk into me. I'm not a small bloke, so
Yeah, that's true.
I don't mind walking into people because they come off second best.
So how does that make you feel, David?
Well, it makes me feel like people are ignorant.
Mm,
And the problem with today is technology. A lot of people are looking at their phones, not looking at where they're walking.
yes, yes,
I,
that's true. That's true.
So
Sorry, Yasmin.
practically we're all blind.
sorry, I was gonna say I agree with this because I myself have a balance problem, and I see a lot of people walking around and they're on their phones. They're not watching where they're going. You know, and you can easily bump into someone with a disability, someone with a mobility issues, and you need to not be on your phone. And it's like driving. You can't be on your phone when you're driving. Why would you be on your phone when you're walking in public? You know what I mean? Like it's just, I'm just saying that people should have more awareness around when they're out in public spaces, so they can't bump into anyone with a disability.
You reckon they should put police on the ground giving people fines when they walking looking at their phones
On the spot fines.
on the spot fines?
Yeah. No, not fines. I'm just saying, like, I think
It'll
you should be aware, of their
You
surroundings
gotta.
when they're walking. I mean, so they don't bump into anyone. Not be on their phone a lot.
It all goes back to education.
No, we need to educate people
As
about.
a
Exactly.
as a user of a power wheelchair, sometimes when people are on their phones, looking at their phones,
Yeah.
I just stop in front of them, and they walk to me. They walk into me. So it's okay. It's not my fault. I mean, I don't get hurt. They do. But it's to like teach you a lesson for next time.
Mm.
But it's important that we educate the public. Yeah, that's the right way to go. Otherwise, we're still going to be on looking at our phones, ignoring people with disability.
I reckon those parking people, the parking fine people, they should take a photo and then tell them, look, I give them fine, $50 fine. People
Yeah.
will stop looking at their phones when they're walking.
Yeah, it's we're going into the digital age now, and the younger generation, and they're going to be more attached to the phone.
Yeah.
It's you just yeah, you can only educate. I guess it all goes back to the education. Is
I don't know. This is the wild idea I and for maybe someone should design an app so whenever someone comes in a certain things of wheelchair user their phone, giving them a big vibrate.
Yeah, that could work, but
What's
if
that?
we're gonna create an app, it's gonna take time. It's gonna be costly,
To what?
but we will get there.
Mm.
We will get there.
An app to create what? To do what?
And I think that senses well, I think what was that? What was that you said, Jonathan? So you mentioned creating the app.
So when a person comes in proximity to a wheelchair user, they
Wheelchair users.
get a big vibrate.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good
Then
start.
say from I'm a computer. I've studied IT, and
Yeah,
I'm computer very like programming literate.
it's very tech savvy.
I'm very tech savvy. You would have to put a something like as in notification on your phone saying you're a wheelchair user, so other phones can read it.
You can read it exactly. Yeah,
So yeah, you got to
because
have you giving out the detail saying it's a phone, it's a wheelchair user, and the other phone's got to be able to receive it.
yeah, but that would only work for smartphones. Yeah,
Yeah, it only work with smartphones, but you know what? Every phone's a smartphone these days.
most of them are.
Practically, most of
Yeah,
them are.
no, but yeah. I guess it will
See,
lead us to the in the right direction.
see, what you can do is put that with the people that like Optus or Vodafone or Telstra. They can put the settings in to the phone.
Mm.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
We can ask, see if we can get that. It's not that hard of programming,
No, it's
but
we
the
could get there.
problem is it's going to use more battery that way. Both phones. One's always
Yeah,
giving out a signal, and one's waiting for signals.
yeah. But it's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction, yes.
And it would shift people's attitudes towards people with disability. Like we said, we need to shift from the medical model
Yes.
to the social model. So yeah, it's all good.
Mhm.
So so I believe today is Anzac Day.
Yes, it is.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Cause is there anything else? Is there any questions anyone has in regards to
Mm.
attitudes and how we can change people's attitudes?
Well,
I'm good.
it's good that the money's now got braille, and
Oh yeah.
it's a bit harder to rip off people with vision
So
impaired.
David, which notes have braille on them?
The 5, the 10, the 50, and the 20.
Cool.
They still
Not
haven't
the
did the
100.
100. They still haven't did the 100.
So if there's no value on the note, wouldn't you know that's $100?
Well, not really, because there's some notes
Oh,
still
because
don't.
the old ones,
Some
yeah, that's right.
there's still old notes out there.
That's right. Yes, yes.
But there's a
But
way
they
of
but they're getting
working.
there.
There's a way of working out the old notes by taking a photo with an app, using an app,
Oh yeah. And what's this app?
Money Reader.
Nice, nice. Cool, cool.
Hmm?
Nice. That's good. It's good use of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robots are taking over the world, but it's a good thing. And it's a
Yeah.
bad thing. So, but no, it's all good.
Okay.
Oh. Right, mhm.
As Amy pointed out, today, yes,
Um, sorry, I just read one of the comments. Uh, one of the comments basically said that no one cares about depression and people with a disability. I was thinking if you want to, for our next topic, we can talk about that.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Depression is a serious topic. I think we will talk more about that in our next podcast.
Yeah.
It is a serious thing. No one should make a lot of it.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah. Hmm.
uh,
We can do
Hey,
that for next week's podcast.
do you remember that kid that was getting picked on at school? That um,
Uh,
he's not he's
Quite bad.
Quan. I think his name was
No, quite.
Quan.
Not Kwang.
Wait,
Yeah. What about
is
him?
I don't know. My son was telling me he heard that he ended up committing suicide. I don't know. Is that true?
Um, I don't know anything about that. Not that I heard of,
Because I told my
and
son
hopefully
don't.
it's not true.
It's not true. I told my son don't believe whatever you hear. Because a lot of people just like to start rumors. It
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
hit the
It's
media.
yep. Mm.
To my knowledge, he did not commit suicide.
Yep.
But we will talk more about that next week.
Cool. No worries.
As most of you are aware, today is Anzac Day, the day we pause and reflect on the service of all military personnel. Here at CripChat, we're playing our part in commemorating it. We ask you now to take a minute and reflect on the sacrifice of those in the world wars to those serving today. Okay. Thank you everyone for commemorating to
Yes, we forget.
Lest we forget.
everyone want to say who they are and if they want to promote anything, it'll be
Yes. So what was that, Jonathan?
When's our next Cotpa podcast? I think.
Do you have anything you want to promote in your work?
So while we're here, if we're gonna have a online peer-to-peer cafe that's run by Diversity and Disability Alliance. That will be next week. We'll be talking about online education. So studying online and resource or where to go to get online resources.
Evie,
So that will be on Monday at 11:30.
Hmm.
And if you want to join, like the Diversity and Disability Alliance page, and all the information should be there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write it down in the chat. The
then
name
I'm
of the
talking.
Facebook page, and yeah, give it a like. And if you're free to join Monday 11:30, then join.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, David. So that's all from me.
We're doing a minute
Anyone else
silence,
have
or
anything to say?
No.
is Evie gone? Or
No answer.
Okay. So for now, goodbye. And remember, share the icon subscribe. Bye.
Thank you.